in Spring, Texas. Thank you so much to Spring, Texas Fire Department for letting us hang out at their tower. This tower is from Affordable Drill Towers that you can see behind me. We got men and women here from Spring and a bunch of other firefighters to help us out. We actually have the Fire Cowboys, Dugan, McCormack, Gallagher, O'Hare, and they are going to be doing some incredible drills. You're going to learn some really cool things. It's going to be a great time. We got Amber, Steve, and Chris from Affordable Drill Towers. They're going to be talking a little bit about this tower you see behind us and all the various things you can do on it. So let's go up to the top and take a look at what Mike O'Hare is doing with his crew. They're going to be showing you a little rappelling, a little bit of Stokes basket management, and then we're going to be doing a vertical rescue inside a vertical ladder chase. So come join us as we check out the fantastic tower from our friends at Affordable Drill Towers, who have sponsored this training session and who build an incredible product, and we'll be talking about it more. But let's go do some training first. What do you say?
Rescue techs, they are going to be demonstrating some rappelling, not necessarily something we're going to be doing in rescue, but right here we have our Petzl ID. He's going to be operating the Petzl ID. We have a safety attached to both. She's using a more antiquated device. We got the Rescue 8 with ears. Again, we're not going to be using this with our rescue, but this gets them familiar with the equipment and it gets them a lot of time online. So go ahead and go on down, guys. As they're descending, we have a 540 belay up here to capture their progress in case there's an incident. This tower affords us all kinds of opportunities as far as anchor systems go. It affords us the opportunity to get multiple people. We can work through the floors for confined space rescue. We have a great deal of opportunity to just get as creative as possible in performing our rescue tasks. But once these two are on the ground, we're going to be switching over to a Stokes basket lower. It's already over the side just to save some time, but we'll show you how that's going to go on these members right here, reinforced. So extra strong and allows us to do it safely.
Fantastic. That's a really important, rappelling is an important part of what we do. I don't care where you work, knowing how to manage your rope, knowing how to tie off. These are all rated anchors, so everything you're seeing here is totally compliant with OSHA and all the standards that we need to comply with. That's an important piece of the puzzle. So let's take a look at what we're going to do over here with the Stokes basket real quick, and I'll get out of the way.
Now that we have a main line and a safety attached, we're going to go ahead and start our lower. We have a member at the bottom tagging so that we can draw the basket away from any structures that we're involved in. The original safety line we had set up, we're just going to transfer over and utilize from this position on. So as you can see, the tower provides us a decent aspect of height. You can overcome your fears this way. It's visible from all angles, so if you're not able to get involved hands-on right here, you're at least able to see from just about any aspect what's going on. That's really beneficial when you get into confined spaces. We can do a confined space drill through the floor here, and from the outskirts, everyone can see what's going on. So you can focus on the patient packaging, you can focus on a few of the other things involved.
Outstanding.
All right.
Outstanding. That was a great evolution, Mike. Anything else?
It's wonderful. We love it up here.
Fantastic. Hey, we're going to pop downstairs. We're going to take a look at a tower ladder and a balcony. We're going to be seeing a lot of these rescues as we're building more of these non-combustible first story and then 2 and 3 up for these residentials. They all have the bump out balconies that everybody wants a balcony these days. But it also affords us a way to get to folks and get them out of a fire safely without having to take them through the interior. So we got Captain Mike Dugan down there. We're going to go down, and then Captain Mike O'Hare is going to meet us the floor below. So come on with us down the tower.
Hi, Mike Dugan here with Affordable Drill Towers, and we are here with our tower ladder set up. This is something that we can do. We can do a couple of things with this. We can do some training for our chauffeurs and have them move the tower ladder and get it into place and practice how we're going to do it on the different buildings we have around. We can see this in any buildings in any area throughout the United States of America. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to work with our people on transitioning from the basket into level, which way they're going to do it. Are we going to use this for search? Are we going to use this for rescue? What are we going to do? Is it for your safety? Is it to get people out of the building? And that's something that you have to decide with your SOGs and how you're going to do it. How your operator is going to work this. Is he going to be in the basket? Is he going to be on the pedestal? How are your people going to do this? And this is going to be very, very important. So we can train our chauffeurs. We can also work with our people on the different buildings in our area and pre-plan it. But you're not going to be able to go out and set the tower ladder up in a fully occupied area in the middle of the day and inconvenience the residents of your district or your town. So this allows you to do this here, and it makes it very, very important. How we're going to,
for things like chauffeur training or driver training, coming out, teaching somebody how to identify the scrub area, and then actually taking a person from a balcony into a basket. It's something you want to practice. You want to get it down to where you've got that procedural muscle memory that you don't have to worry about thinking about it, and you're going to be doing it. So anything else, Cap?
And it's a great teaching tool for our people on where we are putting our bucket, what our deal is. And it's going to be dependent on the building, the person. If it's someone who's mobility impaired, you're going to have to lift them up. You might have the bucket lower so you can roll them into the bucket. Listen, it might hurt, but they're going to be alive. But you have to determine this, and you have to work with your people and get them competent in what we want them to do here. And this allows you to do it very affordably. Yep. And it's a great idea, and it works very, very well for us. And it helps the department get better at what we're doing. Your people should be able, your drivers should be able to spot this here every time.
So now we're going to move down here. We're going to meet with Captain Mike O'Hare. Mike's going to be showing us a vertical ladder rescue. And no matter where you're working in America today, you've got water towers, you've got industrial plants, you've got school buildings. You're going to have vertical ladders, right? Straight up ladders. Generally, they're enwrapped. We've got one off the side of the tower here. Oftentimes, you'll have maintenance workers. You'll have others that get trapped. They get disabled. They get entangled in their wires. So Captain O'Hare is going to walk us through what his crew has set up, and you're going to see some folks working on a vertical ladder. Mike, it's all you, buddy.
One of the benefits we have of the drill tower here is the model of a ladder cage, which we encounter a great deal in industry. It's very easy for people to slip and fall in a ladder cage. A lot of times they're going through the ladder cages without harnesses on. So we would have to get our rescuers up, remove that person from where they're sitting on their injury. And this is a simplistic operation, but people overthink rescue a lot. This gives us an opportunity to go ahead and show an easy way to go and relieve it. Go ahead and bring them down. We have a rescuer up top that's caught the high point, and he's going to guide down the center of the ladder cage to prevent any continuous or additional injuries. And we have a rescuer down below guiding to make sure that no appendages go outside the ladder cage. This is often something that we don't get to do unless we go in the facilities to do the training. So
it's kind of interesting, Mike, to see how he's controlling a lot of that tension just with the grip on the two lines.
Yes, sir.
I mean, simplicity wins, right?
Simplicity wins every time.
But as you can see, setting up the what's been set up in advance, that's important stuff. So you put this in your district, you decide this is going to be your evolution for towers, you can run 6-8 stations through here in the course of a cycle without having to take them out of district, without having to pull them down to downtown. And then if, say you want to change something up in here, say someone gets a better descender or a better idea, or you want to try something out, you don't have to inconvenience anybody. You come out here and you drill and you drill and you drill till this is what we do.
Yeah. We like giving everyone every tool in the toolbox, but they also have to know that we don't need all the tools for this particular situation. And this gives us all the opportunities in the world to develop those problem-solving skills on the towers and in their training.
So how is it compared to the real world working in there?
It's very accurate. I've worked in industry before, and this is simple. It's not an easy rescue by any means, but this works all the time because it's simple and we can do it really
Simple,
quickly.
Simple wins, right?
Every single time.
You know, Mike said it best. We tend to overthink, especially when we start doing rope rigging and 2-to-1 and 3-to-1. You know, what's the old kiss, right? Keep it simple, sweetheart. Right? All right. So now we're gonna rejoin Captain Dugan, Mike Dugan, and coming in through a window into a burning building is something that we do routinely. And how we do that matters. The captain's going to give you some tips and some ideas and some thoughts about how to do that. Drilling on that is also equally important. I mean, we often drill in places where, you know, we do it once, we do it twice, and we think we've got it down. When you do it 10,000 times, 15,000 times, you're starting to get it down. And with this, you could do it literally every day and still be available at a moment's notice to get back on that rig and answer calls for service. So let's go visit with Captain Dugan.
Well, we're back at another station. This is something that you can add or you can have added to your affordable drill tower by the company, or you can do this yourself. This is a window entry prop, and we're going to have a firefighter coming up the ladder, coming in the window entry prop. We also have done a couple of things here. We've put a fake ceiling over our head, which is going to be what we want to do. We want to reinforce our procedures as coming through. So he's going to come up the ladder with his tools. He's going to hang his hook on the ladder, and he's going to take his Halligan, and he's going to make a doorway out of the window. So he's going to take all of the glass out, make a doorway. Now, this is simulated, so in the real world, you would be on full PPE. You would have your air tank, you would have your face piece on, you would have your hood on, because if something flashed or something happened, you would do it. Now what he's going to do is he's going to first sweep the floor to make sure there's no victim under that. He's going to sweep it very gently, okay? And it's good. There's nobody there. He's not hitting any people. He's going to sound the floor. Sound it hard, okay? Check it. Then always have a plan. And what I want you to do is take your tool. I always tell people, whatever way you're going to go in the window, take your tool and drop it down to that spot, okay? So when you come in. So he's going to come up to the ladder in the window.
So as he's coming up the ladder, quick question for Steve. I'm going to bring Steve in here for a second. So we've got the window framed out here. So a lot of what's going on with windows today is pretty interesting, right? Now they're building them out of glass. It's almost virtually impenetrable. It's difficult, and people are using saws and stuff. Could a window be framed into here to actually use if you want to, if you secured some windows that you want to actually take out and break?
Right. They can do that for the drill itself, but it has to be removed immediately after because it creates a wind load. Right. The framing like this is fine. Wind passes through. It doesn't affect the frame load. Same thing with the ceiling prop. And like Captain Dugan was saying, they could use plywood. You could do tongue and groove shiplap. You could do gypsum board, sheetrock, whatever you want to do.
And you can build your own thing.
Build your own thing.
But you can't have anything that could become a sail, so to speak.
Correct. Nothing permanent.
Nothing permanent that would be there. You could use the boards.
Absolutely.
So now what he's going to do is take his hook, and he's going to go into his ceiling and hit the ceiling before he goes in. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you didn't start the fire. You didn't create the fire. Your job is to make sure that you poke a substantial hole in this ceiling over your head to see how this building is constructed. The buildings in all around us that we can see are probably lightweight construction. Lightweight construction, if he sees fire or that heavy, angry, rolling black smoke coming out of that hole, he's going to get on the radio with a Mayday message to command that we have fire over our head in a lightweight truss building. And if that is the case, this is going to be going to a defensive operation, and we are going to communicate that to command. If he likes what he sees here, there's nothing coming out of there, he's going in. He's going to rehook his hook, or he can take his hook, either one. He can hook it on the ladder, okay, or he can put it inside the building. Either one, whatever your procedure is. He's going to come up, and he's going to put his shoulder outside the window, and he's going to sit on the windowsill. Just bring your leg up and sit on the windowsill. And now he sits down. Now, if something happens and something lights off, he can still keep his head and the important parts of his body outside the window. And he's going to now come in with 1 foot and test the floor. Watch the Halligan. That's why you drop it a little further. Okay? Tests it with his weight. He's hanging on to the building still. He's got to support. His ladder is right there. If he likes it, he now brings his other foot in, and he still holds on to the building. Now he can drop right to the floor. And if he drops down to the floor, His tool is right where he left it. Now, before he does that, after he does that, he's got his tool. He's going to bring his hook in, and he's going to hook it on the windowsill. And now the first thing he is going to do is go in that bedroom. He is going to get across the room to the doorway. If it's a corner, the doorway will be on the right angle to the windows. If it's a straight in center room, the doorway is going to be right across. He has the hook hooked on the windowsill, and he has his Halligan. He'll go right to that door at that building. And you're going to train your people to do this and do this all the time. When he gets to that door, if it is open, he is going to close it after taking a look at the hallway. Is there anybody in there? What are the conditions? If it is closed, he is going to open it slightly using the door as his protection and take a look in the hallway. Most times, the people who are doing this in this house, if they're adults, they're going to fight the fire. Children hide. Adults are going to go, oh, this is my house. I'm going out the same way I've always gone. And that's where we're going to find them in the normal path of travel. And this allows you to practice this. Again, the ceiling simulator has to come off when the drill is done. Okay, but you can put this in. You can make it out of any material you want. You can work with your people and get them to use that muscle memory and make it part of your drill. This is what you want to do with your people. You want to continually train them to do this and get better at their job.
So, Cap, this is your tower, Cap?
Yes, sir.
And how comfortable are your people getting with some of the basic primary skills by using the tower?
Oh, they're very comfortable. We train with it all the time. It's very versatile, and it's right here, and it's easy to use.
And it's a great PT tool too. I could see us doing. The one thing you always hated in rookie school was hit the tower, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And now you can have that same joy in your own backyard. Hit the tower.
Anytime.
Just real quick, I want to thank you, Cap. You and your guys are fantastic. So thank you for everything today. And we're gonna go down and visit with Dave Gallagher, and Dave's going to run us through some training down below. We're going to do the Nance drill. So come on down. Thanks, Cap. That's good. All right. All right, boss, you're on.
So what we're going to be doing here at our tower is we're removing the modular sections of flooring. We're going to do a firefighter through the floor drill. So I've got a crew of 4. One has already been lowered down to our down member. And these 3 gentlemen are making a hookup. We call it the Syracuse hitch. I learned it from a really great guy a number of years ago. It doesn't require any knots or anything. It's just a matter of lacing it through the straps to create a cinch system. It avoids having to do hookup carabiners. It avoids having to do knots. The other thing that's nice about this is, as we know, whoever's tried to do a harness conversion in a very limited space or limited visibility situation, you drop one end of the buckle, it kind of takes your harness away. So these gentlemen have this rigged up, and this firefighter is going to be the lead. And they're just going to pull this down member up through the floor. What we like about this is, with this particular system, you can do this repeatedly. You can change configurations, and it gives the opportunity for those critical skills for rapid intervention, safety and survival, etc., that we can hone our skills on.
So that's some nice rope work there that you use.
Yeah.
So if you can, Mr. Cameraman, if you can come around the side here, Dave, why don't you walk us through the rigging that you decided to use in this particular. There's the love knots. There's all kinds of things.
Right.
The problem with the love knots is you take somebody up, you can pull shoulders out, you can do things of that nature. So,
and it also makes it difficult when you get that handcuff knot up. That's all the farther they're coming. So this attaches at a much lower level. So now, when they clear the floor, their waist is actually up, and everybody has access.
And we're actually using the harness. We're actually using our air pack, our harness, to help support us.
You want to pull this out, and we'll just run them through it real quick.
Yeah, let's take another look at that. That was
pull
good.
That out. Yeah, it's we just take the biter rope, and initially we'll just lace it back through. The biter rope.
So let me get the camera guy in a better position here.
Okay.
Our boss, Charles. So check out how this is some nice stuff. Let's see this.
So this
real
pipe
quick.
will go underneath the strap, and then it will go across the chest underneath the shoulder strap. And you notice how he's using the gaps to his advantage. It will go across, go underneath the opposite shoulder strap, and it really doesn't make any difference. Then this would be passed up. Now, again, when we're looking at basements with 6 foot, 7 foot ceilings, this isn't a huge reach. We're not talking lowering somebody 20 feet up. So let's just get a little bit of this slack out. And if you would step over here for me and take the 2 ropes that are down by his leg.
It's also a great, I was just going to say, it's a great carry right there.
Yeah.
There we go.
We would simulate pulling this up. So
Some
if you
good
gather
stuff.
all these together, much like it would be above, fellas, if you could put all that together and just raise up, look what starts happening to the straps. It cinches everything down around that torso.
Beautiful.
So it does a really slick job. And as you saw when they brought him up, since the waist is the lowest part, when they finish their lift, his entire torso is up above the floor level. And again, doesn't require any knot work, no carabiners, no hardware.
All right, that was fantastic, Dave. We appreciate that. What we're going to be doing now, Dave and his guys are going to be clearing out. We've got Ray McCormack, and Ray has got his crew, and we are going to start. We're going to start down here, Ray.
Yes.
Cameraman, if you follow me down. Come on down, camera guy. All right, we're here with Ray McCormack, and Ray, take us away. What are we're going to show a connection, then we're going to go up and do a little hose work.
Correct. Right now, we're going to use the tower's standpipe riser capability. We're going to hook into this standpipe riser, fire department connection, which you would find on the exterior of a building. We have that capability here. We're going to supply the system. We have the sign 150 PSI max, which is more than enough pressure for what we're going to be doing. The system can take that. It's telling you exactly what you can pump into the system. That's another great safety factor. Pump into the system. We have valves on every floor, standpipe valves. We're going to hook up to on the floor below the fire, and we're going to do a stretch from the floor below to the fire floor. In our scenario, we're going to stretch 2 sections of 75-foot hose, giving us a total of 150 feet. We're going to simulate that the hallway to the fire area is contaminated, and we're going to charge our hose line. We're going to add water to the hose line inside the confines of the stairway, and that's what we're going to do. So if you join me on the next floor up, we'll hook up our hose sections, and we'll dress the standpipe as we normally would under fire conditions, and then we'll stretch the attack hose line. So the first thing the firefighters are going to do when they get upstairs is we're going to test this system. Once it has water in it, our driver is going to supply us water. We're going to test the system. We're going to flush it, make sure there are no contaminants in the system, and then we'll start our hookup. Just put that bag in the corner there. We're going to lay out our hose packs right next to each other. We're going to attach the hose packs together. We're going to open that system. Just worry about that for now. See if you have water coming into the system yet. All right, they're going to give us water into the fire department connection. As you can see, our nozzle team is making the connections between the nozzle length and the second length. Bring up the nozzle firefighter is going to bring up his whole bundle intact and half of the second bundle because we have a decent way to go. Do we have water in the system? Okay, you bled the system. Let's make our connections. We're going to put on a pressure gauge and an elbow. Now, this elbow will help us deal with any angles that might happen when you're stretching a standpipe hose. Many times you want to get rid of that bump in the line. Usually this elbow will take care of that. This elbow also can bleed the system as well.
So Ray, there's a pressure gauge on there,
That's correct.
which is important so you know what you've got at that pipe, right? So
Attach the hose.
imagine if you were up on the 6th or 7th floor, critically important to know.
Right. So our driver is going to give us pressure. First thing we're going to read is static pressure in that line. Our firefighter at the system will give us pressure that we want to use, working pressure for the hose itself. So once we get upstairs and we get our line flaked out, we'll ask you to give us water through that system and we'll be all set. All right. So the nozzle firefighter takes that whole fold he's got there and take half of that as well. And you're going to drop that at the half landing upstairs. Go ahead up. And our firefighter that's staying behind is going to make sure the hose is flaked out nice and neat. All right, just leave that there. All right, put your hose down upstairs. You're going to flake that out down here. All right, now wait, just hold on. All right, so we're upstairs on the fire floor landing. So relax, we get to that. Are we good down there? All right, so up here,
All right. We're up top with Ray, with the nozzle firefighter. Ray?
All right, so what we're going to do is we have the midpoint of the hose. It's taped. Firefighter's going to take the midpoint of the hose, bring it up to the next half landing. Go ahead, take that up there.
I know.
Bring it up there. Let them get it up there. We'll see what we have to do to it, if anything. Lay it out. Okay, great. So we'll just bring that nozzle onto this side. So one of the advantages of the way we just performed this stretch, we have our attack hose up on the next platform. The door to the fire area has remained closed. There's a safe area to operate in. Brought the line up to the half landing, and the nozzle is on the opposite. It's on the outer wall of the staircase. That's where we want it, because when we charge the line with water, we're able to pull it in and go in very easily. If the nozzle was on the inner side, we'd have a snag more than likely. So we're eliminating that. All right, we're going to call for water. Our line looks good. All right, let's get water in the standpipe. Don't move. So the firefighter down at the outlet right now is going to open that outlet and give us operating pressure.
The other thing that what Ray has set up here is that now gravity is working in our favor as that line becomes charged. This firefighter is not going to be trying to pull weight. He can pull down and get into that apartment much faster. I noticed their hose had a piece of duct tape on it.
Yes, that's to mark the midpoint of the hose line. That gives us an obvious indicator of where to pull the hose. It makes it much easier. You find that midpoint, pull on it, and you've got an even flake out of the hose. Very nice. So anyway, our line has been charged. We haven't opened up the nozzle just yet, but you can see there's no issue. We have a nice clean layout of our hose. Firefighter would bleed the line. Go ahead and bleed the line. You want to get the air out of the system, which he just did. Open it all the way. And we can confirm downstairs that we look like we need a little bit more water.
More water. Look right there.
So this is not uncommon when you do a standpipe operation to adjust the flow. The last thing we want to do is just open the nozzle really quick, get a flow, and shut down. We want to make sure that we have the right gallonage before we go in on the fire floor. Very important safety factor. And if it takes a little while, so be it. This is what you do to make sure that your fire operation runs well. All right, so we're getting back. We're getting a much better stream now. All right, you could shut down.
Nice job.
This bleed off is done in the staircase before we enter into the fire area. Very important safety factor for us. And we're all set to go. We have 75 feet of hose that'll take us into the fire area. If we need more, additional firefighters will help push the hose up to the fire floor.
That was really well done. A lot of important tips to follow, to pick up on there. Having somebody to walk the line behind you, watching for kinks, obstructions. Also, laying the hose out so you're on that outer wall.
Yeah.
Remember that. Don't get yourself, you're going to kink, right?
Yeah.
And then take it up. So your working hose, you're going to be dragging down. Beautiful evolution, Ray. Anything else you want to add before we head down?
We're going to look at the sprinkler system that's available. It's on the floor below where we are currently. We're going to look at that. And we did a great standpipe stretch here. The tower is great for that. There's a lot of hose evolutions you can do in this tower. We're just doing the standpipe one today, which is a great capability. A lot of places don't have that capability. Most buildings you go into may not have a standpipe outlet. The tower does, so we can practice that anytime we want. It's great.
Well, we're heading down now.
And we're going to have one of our firefighters open the sprinkler head. Now, the one nice thing about the sprinklers is that you can learn that you should keep them running. Keep them running until you have an operating hose line.
We'll be okay. Nice job. Well done. And I am going to
the line looks great down here. Good job on the hose line, guys.
I'm going to get clear of that sprinkler system.
Anytime you have a sprinkler activation, you don't want to shut down the system until you have a charge line inside. At that point, you have to make a decision. Do I want to keep it running or do I want to shut it down? If you shut it down prematurely, you may have a worse fire than you originally thought. So sprinklers are the silent firefighter. They're going to start working before we get there.
Okay, so we're live doing this. This is not rehearsed, and you can see these guys from Spring are really great guys. They're working really hard. As you know, in Houston, it's always freezing cold. So it's about 30 degrees out here. Believe it or not, in Houston, Texas, I think they say to tomorrow it might be 30 degrees. So we're going to open up that sprinkler, and we're going to stay high and dry above it. But we're going to let the cameraman get soaking wet. I'm just kidding, Charles. Get as close as you want. Ray wants you.
Yep. All right.
So learning.
So we're going to put this sprinkler into activation. Go ahead. And as you can see, we have a bit of a wind condition here, but you can see how it disperses in a circular fashion. It's going to get the room wet, that's for sure. You're not going to miss many spots with a sprinkler head.
And sprinkler activations is one of the calls that we all go on routinely. So bringing in your recruits, bringing in your younger members, and teaching them how to chalk a sprinkler is a critical skill. And it's something that you can do repetitively here. You can also look at different types of sprinkler heads. You can change them out, and you can talk to your crews about how to operate or exchange or replace a sprinkler head, if that's within your purview.
It's a great option for here because while you're doing the standpipe, you can do the sprinkler as well. And they tend to run hand in hand. In a lot of buildings, you charge that fire department connection and you're supplying both systems. So here we have a sprinkler going off, and we did a standpipe stretch as well. And there's many more stretches we could do.
Oh yeah, we could keep going. I think what we'll do now is we'll walk over, we'll sit down, we'll have a little conversation with Ray and Mike and Dave and Steve. You want to do one more thing, Mike? We got Mike, we are live here, so we got Dugan waving at us frantically. What you need, boss?
Michael here, and doing a ladder bailout and then a PSS bailout out of the window property page.
We are, okay, well, so we're going to do it.
Sit back down and talk.
Beautiful. So we're going to have a ladder bail. We're going to have a bail. So we go. There we go.
More options.
More options.
Very good.
Ladder bail. Where's Mike? Is he ready to go? Hey, this has been a great day, seriously, out here. And Ray, we can't thank you enough for joining with us. And obviously, Dave and Mike and Mike O'Hare, we really just amazing group of folks out here. We've had a wonderful day. We're going to talk more about training. And Ray has so many tips and pieces of knowledge that we could have spent the day with just Ray on here, but we want to show you how important it is to have some place to drill and train where you can get creative. You know what I mean?
do. I mean, this is a great thing. It fits in the back of the firehouse here. It's a wonderful addition to anything you need to do. You can do your hose work on the ground. You can do it elevated. It'll supply everything a fire department needs for stretching, because it's well within the confines of what we do. Everybody uses stairs. They're here, platforms. It keeps you, this stretch we just did is something that you need to practice. This fire behind the door, get the line squared away before you move in. It's a very important drill. You saw how easy it was to do when you're good. These guys are good, and they did a great job. They really did a great job.
And even the communication, right? You want to teaching your guy at the valve how to talk to the pump operator, visual cues, things of that nature that you can work out now before you're trying to figure this out at 3 o'clock in the morning in the dark.
The other thing is
matters.
too, with the tower, you can see. You can see what's going on. It gives a great line of sight.
If you're the instructor, it's
or
beautiful.
Safety officer outside, you can monitor what's going on multiple floors. There's no visibility issue. You can see.
And one of the things we did at the window, we should point out, we had the captain coming in the window with a rookie. We could tie them off. So if they get nervous, if they have a problem, if they slip, no one gets hurt. Yeah. So it's all about safety. It's all about training. It's all about learning. Yep. Mike, you ready to do? Mike, are you ready? Here we are. Mike, why don't you tell us what you're going to do? And here's your mic. Why don't you tell us what you're going to do real quick first, boss?
I'm going to do a ladder bailout out the window. This is going to be one of those things where the environment got really bad. You got to get out quick. This is just a quick and easy way to get down so multiple firefighters can get out to safety in a timely manner.
And to show you how versatile it is, we're going to make Mike hold the mic the whole time he's doing it. Just kidding. We're not going to do that. All right. Let's see if the best camera angle, Mike. I think the best camera angle for you would be right over here, Mr. Cameraman. You can catch Mike at the window, and you can catch him as he comes down the area here. Ray, you want to come down with me? And we'll.
Yeah.
Ray is very well versed. We got Captain Dugan down here. So, Mike, whenever you're ready, you let us know.
Yep. As soon as we get you down here and the mic down here, we'll talk about what we're doing.
Ray's got the mic.
So what we're going to do here is, of course, we're putting a safety on Captain O'Hare for him to do this drill. But what's going to happen here is this is how you can do your training on bailout systems and on emergency procedures. So Mike's at the window. There's nothing else he can do. The room is flashing over on him. He's going to come out of this window that the room is on fire. Go ahead, Mike. So he's going to go out. He's going to hook the ladder. He's going to spin and bring himself back down, and he's going to slide the ladder. Now you can see the brother has the safety line on him, and the brother at the base of the ladder is footing it. So if we have a problem, he can help slow him down so he does not get hurt. So this is going to be our ladder bailout, and this is something you should train your people on. It's the Get Out Alive program that we have done for so many times. Now on the next one, we're going to take the ladder down if we can. Okay, and we are going to move the ladder, and the safety's going back up. Safety's going back up. And we're going to have Danielle come down for us. She's going to do testing on her personal safety device. And again, these are things you can do in your department. She's going to be in the room the same way. She's in a room that's on fire. There is no ladder at the window, and she has to bail out. And she's going to have the personal safety line that she is going to use. And again, when we do this, we're going to use our training devices, and we're going to go out the window. But what's going to happen here is she is going to hook and slide down. And this is going to be something that we can train all of our people on. We should have personal safety devices if we're going above a third floor in a window in a building.
Everyone should be wearing a personal safety device. And
absolutely.
You know, drilling with them as Danielle is doing here, you can't be overstated how we should be doing this much more repetitively than we are. And having a district tower like this, or a tower within your grasp that you can do this on, can't be understated. Danielle, take your time. We're in good shape here. So Danielle's hooking in now.
She's going to hook in. She's going to go out the window. She's going to tension her rope. And again, she's doing her personal safety device. And this is going to be how we're going to train on our devices as we go through this. Okay. This is, again, in a room that is fully involved, and there is no other way. This is a means of last resort, but you are going to train your people all the time on how they are going to do this so they can get themselves out of these positions if there are. Now, again, we can do this on this drill tower. When we're doing this, we can put up sheetrock or something else so that she has a way to get down. Okay, she has a space to get herself out, and she's going to come down. Again, we don't have a wall here, but we could do this up, and we can put this in different places. We can move that down as we go down, and we can bring it down. Okay. Nice job.
Nice job, Danielle.
So again,
Outstanding.
this is a little unusual because there is no exterior wall on this building, but we can put the exterior wall. We can also move the window prop to other places if we need to do this. It is very versatile. It is really a very good idea to use these things. These are great things that we can do in our training. As you can see, this tower is so versatile and there's so many things.
So if we wanted to, if we had the time, we probably could have dropped a couple pieces of plywood here, made a wall so that, you know, if Danielle was running the drill, she could run her crew class through, or even just her crew if she wanted to, you know, put people through this. So with your personal escape device on, how important do you think it is to drill with this on like a weekly or monthly basis at the minimum?
Very important. It's something that should be that
Yeah,
you should have down pat.
Yeah, you should have it down pat, because when you deploy this device, literally seconds matter, right? And Danielle did a great job. She's an experienced firefighter, but getting the opportunity to do this over and over and over again, that's what it takes, right? That's the key. And beautiful job. And I'm sure we can talk to Steve later about if we could put some plywood up against here to give us that building feel, because without that building to stabilize yourself with, it was very hard. You did a wonderful job using the cold, wet pipe to get yourself braced. I was impressed. I was glad I wasn't you, but great job. Thank you, Danielle.
Thank you very much. And again, this is just something that we can do. And we can move the window prop to other parts of the building and do it where we have other places that we can have more pipes so you can simulate the wall. So there are so many things we can do with this. It's a very, very versatile tool for us.
Hey, so I'm going to take a minute here and introduce you to some people who have faces for radio. And we're bringing back in Chris and Steve. We got Jason and Rob. And you met Amber and Steve and Chris earlier. They're the folks from Affordable Drill Towers. Jason's with the Lone Star Fire College, and he's been looking at these towers and thinking about how, in a real training session, training environment rather, where you've got to run, you know, hundreds of recruits through training, people who want to become firefighters, you know, how to get this kind of drill done so that when they hit the streets, whether it's in, you know, Spring or whether it's in Houston or Albuquerque or Denver, they're ready to go to work. So how are you using these things?
On the physical training aspect, is we can run towers and, you know, being able to do ladders without being inside of say like a burn structure where, you know, the big problem with carcinogens, but they can do a lot more stuff with outside of the free air, and you can see everything that's going on. And with the actual burn tower itself, you've got closed walls. You can't see what's going on first floor, second floor, any of that kind of stuff. So this gives you an open aspect of everything.
You know, and that was the same point that Ray pointed out. From an instructor standpoint, while we were doing this, I was thinking, wow, I can see what everybody's doing. As Ray had the nozzleman going up, you could see him going up, and he was laying out the hose correctly.
It's great for observation. It really is.
Yeah.
You can have multiple evolutions and see everything that's going on, which is good from a safety standpoint, safety officer.
And we have to take that into effect every day with safety. You know, it's a number one priority. And the ability to adapt to this tower, it's phenomenal. You know, the things that you can do with it.
No, the other thing is the footprint isn't very big, so you could have this in the back of multiple firehouses. It's great.
Yeah, the footprint is not big, and it's set up so that it's a freestanding structure. And that's an important piece of the puzzle here. Steve will talk more about it when we sit down. But the fact that you could, I mean, we're in 3 car spaces, basically. Right. Yeah, and we're able to do all this training, which is pretty phenomenal. So we've got Assistant Chief, right?
Yep.
Assistant Chief Logan, Rob Logan. Rob, this is your tower. how's it working out for Springs and your training and your needs and your organization?
So honestly, our guys are out here every day. We found ourselves having to go to other organizations that had drill towers. We had a lot of setup time and a lot of time driving across the area to get there, then to set up, and we were losing a lot of time for training. So we looked for, I mean, the name's perfect. It's an affordable drill tower. We looked for an affordable option we could stick somewhere behind the fire station. We could put multiple of them so the companies that are here can train at the station and not have to go out of district. And we found it as a great opportunity, and they use it all the time. There is I would say almost a waiting list sometimes where guys are setting up throughout the day. Crews are here and one leaves and the next one comes, and they can do evolutions, anything from standpipe operations to ladder drills to bailouts to setting up the aerial apparatus.
High angle, and I see you even have it set up for your candidate testing, right?
Correct. So we're real big on health and wellness here and physical fitness. So the guys come here and use it for fitness training. And we found ourselves every time we had a new hire test for the PAT, we had to go somewhere that had a tower. So us getting our own here allowed us to do everything right here in-house.
It's fantastic.
And
the drainage on the system is excellent.
And we need it in this town. You know, we got drainage here. Lots of rain.
Houston's got the rain, right? Hey, we're going to go sit down with Ray and Mike and Steve and Chris and Rob and Jason, have a conversation about training. Training. It's all about training. And if you're not training every day, you're setting yourself up for failure. And it's got to be here and it's got to be here. And if you're not putting those two things together, you're missing the boat. So let's go grab a seat. I love this Houston weather. I got to tell you, this is not Chamber of Commerce weather, Houston. Yeah, right? Isn't that the story? It's an Irish day. Do I need to, where's my producer? Go up, sit, wherever you want to seat, fellas. Do I need to shut a mic down, Sarah, or how am I doing? Sarah, am I causing you trouble? We're good. Okay, so this is a prop at this point. This is coffee, which is not a prop. Oh, keep passing this. Okay, I'm learning. I'm learning as I go. There's open seats, fellas. There's coffee. There's open seats. Grab a seat, right?
Where is Dave Gallagher?
Jason, where's Gallagher?
There he is.
The PIO told me to do this.
Yeah.
Where is she?
There's Tracy. Nice.
Amber, where are you? Are you hiding on us? Come on. Come on, Captain. Come on, Mike. Get in here. Stand in there. So, listen. I'm going to go around the... oh, I'm sorry, Charles. Look at Charles. I'm looking at the computer. Oh, my gosh. Again, teaching old man tricks, right? So, we're talking about training, and to get serious for a minute, you know, one of the limitations that we have in smaller organizations, even in organizations that are geographically spread out, as Ray was talking about earlier, is getting that opportunity to train. And with this unit behind us, this affordable drill tower, it's solving a lot of problems. What you saw at the beginning were a Stokes basket over the side, which happens all the time. We do rescues all the time that involve that evolution. And what you also saw was a man inside that vertical ladder. Now, this crew made it look easy. It's not. That was some really impressive work. And it was impressive because they practice. So I'm going to just go down the thing here, and I'm going to let Steve and Chris, who kind of came up with this idea, discuss some of the other things that you can do with one of their towers to make your training more meaningful and more effective.
Thanks, Chief.
Sure.
So the whole purpose, the whole idea for affordable drill towers started out with ISO. We wanted to help fire departments gain ISO credit at an affordable price. So that's the concept behind it. After we built the first prototype, we changed it. We went to a more practical use to where the brothers can actually use it effectively, efficiently, to hone their skills, try stuff they've never done before, like pumping into an FDC, shocking sprinkler heads, doing window bailouts. You can't do it unless you have a confined, a condemned building. So we wanted to give them something they can put in their parking lot, in their backyard, use it while they're on shift anytime they want. The feedback we've gotten so far has been pretty good.
So we talked about FDC connections, and I got two guys on either side of me here who have connected to more FDCs than they can probably count. Surprises with hooking up to an FDC, Mike?
No, not really. I think Ray had the crew do a phenomenal job here, and it's something you.
I meant surprises that you've encountered in the real world.
Oh my God! You know, needles in the FDC bottles, bolts in the from them working. They drop a bolt down the pipe. They never go get the bolt out, and it clogs the nozzle. That's happened a couple of times. So I think it's all part of it. There are tons of problems you can have with that. The other thing that I really like is they have some of these that you can get with the they come with the outriggers on them, and with the outriggers they come off on the sides, and you can put a roof prop. You can build a roof prop on it. Again, nothing that is you can have 2x10s or something like that can stay there, but it can't be the plywood. It can't be any sheathing or anything else. But you can have a roof prop on this. There are so many things you can do. It's so versatile that using these, depending on what you want, is just a great thing for us to do. And I think it's something that we can help train the brothers and sisters and get us better at this. And I think it's so important.
You know, you might have noticed with the what were they, the Fire Cowboys? Isn't that what Dave came up with? It's like the Space Cowboys. You might have noticed how the team was put together. Obviously, one of the most preeminent truck people in the country, 123 Tower in New York City. Obviously, probably the most eloquent spokesperson for engine company operations, one of the most experienced engine company writers and practitioners in the country, Ray McCormack. Dave has just got a plethora of training. Dave has been embedded in training for 35 years now, and spares no expense in improving his capabilities. So the group that was brought together here was intentional. I was brought to play the elderly victim, which I was very good at. Well done. And then our new friend, Mike O'Hare, who is just phenomenal. And so with that technical rescue rope stuff. So you've got four men here who represent really the fundamentals of structural firefighting and what you need to know to be successful. Four guys who've spent a lifetime getting to a point to where perfection is almost within their grasp, but they're not going to stop there. So we're going to have them comment, but before they do, I'm going to throw it to Jason, who is not a firefighter, but one of the owners of the company, and get his reaction to what he's seeing. Some of the most, I'm sorry, Chris. Sorry, Chris.
I'd be Mike.
Hey, I got Tom. So Chris is, I'm throwing it to Chris. I told you I'm old.
Yeah.
It's
not Alzheimer's, it's sometimes.
You're right. So I'm going to throw it to Chris because, you know, when you build something like this and you own a company, obviously Steve was a firefighter. Chris was not. I want to hear what he has to say when he sees men of this caliber, firefighters of this caliber, do what they're doing here and the reaction that they're having. I'll tell you, when you're seeing this video, you got to see this thing live. I'm telling you, I walked up to this thing yesterday. We all did, and said, okay, the pictures don't do it justice. Just don't. No disrespect to our fine camera people, but the pictures don't do this thing justice.
Yeah, that's right. No, surrounded by a bunch of great dudes. I'm just Jason or Chris or who is it? No,
Tom, you're Tom now. Tom.
You know, it's been a really fun adventure. The challenge when Steve first, we started discussing the idea. I was like, you want to do what? For how much? And you wanted to do this and this. And so those challenges and just working through it was really a fun adventure for us from an operations perspective. And how are we going to, create that price point, that value? And like I said, I'm not from this industry, so to try to troubleshoot and add all the different elements and be able to make it to fruition, it was real fun. And from a behavior standpoint, the practicality, the fact that it's right here day to day. I mean, I think the first three that we've done, they were on it before we even got done. We had hey guys, we're almost done. So the interest is there. And I think it really allows the training to be taken to a whole nother level. It allows you to crystallize that intelligence a lot faster because you're there seeing it day in, day out. Like we talked about the feedback that you get from the instructor. So
I think the most important thing is you're doing good.
Yeah, well, it's working. It's a great product, So.
No, you're doing good. All things that are good. Yeah, this is the embodiment of it. That's His cap says A-tag on it. That's all things that are good. I love that. I've got one. So what a wonderful, great. And I apologize for screwing up your name. I'm nervous on camera, but yeah, it's the most. So Ray, why don't you chime in here and we'll go around the room. Anybody pretend it's a union meeting and they're screwing us again. If you got something to holler out, just.
Well, what I liked about the tower was the fact that it's located in close proximity to the fire station, and that in and of itself lends to more convenient training. It's right there. You can focus on a small segment of training because you can build on your training because the prop is always here, and that's a great convenience. The prop itself lends itself to engine company, ladder company. There's a hallway that can be added to the prop, which you can do water mapping and see where your stream is going. And now you're building in the science into this structure, and you can actually replicate things that were done based on scientific study. It's a great opportunity to show the firefighters what's going on in the fire service currently and build on your technique. Once you have a tower like this at your fire station, you can make sure you can dial your game in really well because, like I said, you can take a segment of what you're trying to do, work on it with your crew, build on that. Now you have a good platform. Keep going, and your stretches, if you're the engine company, are just going to be outstanding. And that's what this is here for. It's an assist to firefighters to become good at what they do. And it's an affordable drill tower. It's exactly what it is. For observational purposes, it's great. You can see multiple floors from being outside for safety. For educational purposes, you can bring people in and show them what firefighters do. They can actually the community can see the value of this tower for themselves by holding public evolutions and letting them come to the fire station and see it. It's the only limit probably is your imagination. And if I think it's a wonderful opportunity for firefighters, and I'm really blown away by it. I think it's great.
Dave, you want to?
I think the adaptability of the drill tower, much like Ray was saying, is huge. And, I come from the non-metro setting, and having the ability to go out and just walk out the back door and drill on incredibly valuable skills and technique that create the muscle memory. I mean, let's face it, most of us don't go to the fires that Ray and Mike have gone to. However, we need to be just as prepared, and this tower is going to give you the opportunity, muscle memory, throwing ladders, stretching lines, doing rapid intervention, any number of things. The other thing I think was nice, and we were talking about this last night, was, it's right in your backyard. You don't have to take companies out of service to go to a remote facility to get all this done. And quite frankly, in the suburban or even rural setting, how many times do they hook up to an FDC? But if you look at where all the building and the exponential growth is going, it's going to that old farmland. It was 1,000 acres before. Now it's being sold to a contractor. Guess what's going in there?
And you could combine some of your other freestanding props with this. There's no
absolutely.
Reason why we couldn't have brought a forcible entry door out here.
Or a flash-over trailer or something like that.
So we could have combined multiple, and we're in a small footprint here. We're basically on the floor of a 3-bay, right? So we're not in a big area.
Right.
But we could have run a forcible entry drill with the line behind it. We could have done that coordination. We could have done the stretch simultaneously. We could have run really a district-wide company drill.
And that would be incredibly valuable to do a multi-company operation. I mean, even think about this in a rural setting. Getting a tanker operation going, getting lines off, and doing any number of things. I think it's huge. For a cash-strapped or a staff-strapped organization, I think this is an incredibly valuable tool to get skills down, maintain skills. That's the big part, to just keep it moving forward.
Got anything there, boss?
I got a little more. On the technical rescue side, it's been a great benefit to have it for the rope rescue, the Stokes basket. We can do vertical and horizontal lowers. We can do pickoffs. Of course, the ladder cage is a huge benefit for industry. But something that we don't tap into often, is just because it's labor intensive, is the same boards that you could put on the side to give you a smooth walk down. You could suspend underneath in the walkway, and you could set them at different angles, and you could work on building collapse. You could set up your temporary shores, your T-shores, your spot shores, whether you have Paratech, whether you're building it with wood. You don't need to go find a building that's falling down. You could set one up here. And just to get people used to using the equipment, just to get the new guy, get his measurements and figure out what he's deducting, putting them in place, and start building your way in. This provides just that opportunity to do it again in your backyard. So I think it's wonderful.
So I'm going to do something right now. Please give Amber the mic. And this is important. This is really important. Captain Amber, graduate of West Point, 1976 or
2007.
2007. Dang. I was trying to get you into my generation. Graduate of 2007 of West Point. Veteran, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Amber. Captain. Good on you. Good on you. All right. And she's also, now we'll sit. She's also an engineer, boy. And I'll tell you what, this is one squared away individual.
So Steve brought us in to do the engineering on the affordable drill tower. The main focus of the engineering was to make sure, one, that it would be safe to rappel down, so we wouldn't have any tipping or concerns about tipping, that we wouldn't have a wind load problem, and then also that structurally it's safe and sound for everybody to be doing the training on. So, and I think what we provided is an excellent product. It's strong. You're not going to have to worry about any movement up there. It's pretty stable when you're up on top. It's not a lot of sway. And we had a lot of additional extra bracing to it just to make sure that you wouldn't have any movement when you're running up and down with a hose. But overall, I think we have an excellent product and one that's safe for rappelling, safe for pretty much anything you want to throw at it as far as training goes.
And I just want to say something to you because
Sure.
I think it's very important. It does move a little, and people have to understand that.
does.
It's not, and that's built into it. That's engineered
It
into
is.
it. And you are going to be up on the top and feel a little bit of sway, and that is normal and acceptable.
And I think that's important because if you go to work on a bridge or you go to work on the outside of a tall building, they sway too. Otherwise, they would crack and fall. So that getting used to that's actually beneficial because when you feel that, it's just something that happens in tall buildings, and it happens, and when you're outside of one, you notice. Chief?
Yeah, I just something I just want to do is reiterate the fact that a lot of chiefs or a lot of administrators get worried about spending money and it's not going to be used. We're going to buy something, it's going to sit back there, and we knew it would be used a lot, but I can tell you that it exceeded my expectations of how much it's used. And like I said earlier, they're on it every day. They're doing something, and something like Ray said, just to expound upon every day, they start with something and they can finish a different drill the next day. And we have the forcible entry door here. We do multi-companies where they go through the door and then stretch into the tower. So we've incorporated other props as well, and it works great. And back to what you were saying, just a 3 parking spot space behind the fire station. This is probably our smallest layout for property for one of our fire stations, and we still decided to put it here just because it made the most sense for our 9 fire stations to put it in a location where everybody could come to and train, and they wouldn't be so out of pocket in case a run comes in.
So 9 houses can come here and train, which is a little more than most districts. Most districts probably cut off at 6 or 8, but 9 is not unusual. So you can stay in district, but also quick shout out to the Springs Fire Department. Spring, Texas Fire Department is going to be 65 years old this year.
Yeah, we are.
This year, so they're eligible for Medicare.
Yep.
And that's important. And the loophole, the donut hole, that's on you. But congratulations to Spring, and thank you for being really gracious hosts. This is an incredible community. It's an incredible fire department. Every one of the members was extremely gracious and accommodating, and worked their butts off to make this happen today. And really, really good people. Really great community, and we're really grateful to your folks, Rob. And
we thank you for choosing to use us. And we did this just for the benefit of our people, not for fame. But we're glad that that you're able to come out here and let us showcase what we get to do. And I know these guys train hard every day, and it feels good for them to be able to come over here and show off what they've been practicing doing.
all right, Chris, you're up. Just kidding. This is Jason. And again, Jason runs Lone Star Fire College, and so to him, this is important stuff. This is a guy who, nothing's more important than the basics and how our people come out, right? When you get them from the factory correct, you can build. But sometimes if they come from the factory a little twisted, it's hard to get that frame back aligned, right? So Jason, bring us home.
Okay. Well, one of the things that a lot of people really don't understand out there is that if you put something with the word fire in it, it makes it 3 to 4 times the expense, which is not the case of the affordable drill tower, because I think Steve talks about how what an actual burn building would cost you if you wanted to do something like this, and it's out of our range on the college, and a lot of people don't realize what it costs to run a fire department, a fire program. So having something like this is a tool that we couldn't have afforded otherwise. So this is one of the best things that we've gotten as far as on the education side, that we're can't wait to really get into using it as much as possible.
I know Captain Dugan wanted to show you his technique on the pompier ladder.
The scary ladder.
The scary ladder.
That's right.
But when you think about all the evolutions, as Mike pointed out, that we didn't get to do, and as Ray said, it's only limited by your imagination. It's all about training. And I know a lot of folks are watching and say, oh, they're just talking about this tower. We're talking about the tower because the tower is about training. So that's why we're talking about the tower, or you wouldn't have people of this caliber here. You can train and train and train all day long, and then tomorrow figure out something else to do. And as I think Chris will be amazed, as this thing gets out in more and more districts and more firefighters' hands, I want to see the add-ons 5 years from now, right? The things we have right now, there's folks online saying, well, this, and you can do this, and what about this? And
keep typing it.
Yeah, and the engineering problems are going to be thrown at you, Amber. God bless you. You're going to be up at night with your slide rule going, these guys are nuts, but
they are.
And they are, yeah. But we had just an incredible time, and to kind of bring it all into focus, we had a great time training. We always have a great time training. But when we do our job, it's because somebody needs us. When we do a call for service, it's because somebody needs us. And oftentimes I hear people say, well, it's just a building. But if it's your building and your livelihood, or you got 20 or 30 people working for you, and you don't know how to handle turning off a sprinkler head or fixing a sprinkler head so that these folks can stay in business, that's a big deal. If you don't know how to get a firefighter, we all went through saving our own, right? But when you did that, was it a one-off? Was it a two-off? You could do it every day. Whether it's the Nance drill or the Denver drill or any of the other things that we do in saving our own, you could do here. Literally anything. The collapse stuff, I hadn't thought about that. Again, we scratched the surface of what you can do in training. So what we're asking you to do is think about what you would do if you had the opportunity to use a tower every day to train. And if you get into that creative mode and think about what you'll do when you get one, you're going to move towards that goal, right? We hit what we aim at. So aim well. Aim at training every day, and it's going to work out for you. Again, we want to thank our hosts, the Spring Fire Department, Texas, best country in America.
Amen.
God bless Texas. We want to thank our hosts, the folks that sponsored this training today, Steve and Chris. Affordable Drill Towers, is it .com or .org? .com. AffordableDrillTowers.com. Go there now. Take a look at what they have. You'll be amazed at what they can do. Christopher, Steve, Amber, Rob, thank you so much. We couldn't have had better hosts. We've had a great time. Ray and Mike and Dave are going to hang out, and Mike are going to hang out for a couple of days and do some training. So if you're in the Houston, Texas area, and you're looking for 2 days of great training in cold, wet weather in Houston, Texas, which is amazing, we're going to give you that opportunity. Where's the training and what's it?
We're going to be at Porter Fire Department, which is where Lone Star College's drill tower is. So off of Highway 59, FM 1314, Loop 494 area.
Porter Fire College, is it up on your website?
It's on the Facebook page, on our Facebook page, Affordable Drill
Affordable Drill
Towers.
Towers Facebook page, Porter College. A chance to train with Mike Dugan, Ray McCormack, Dave Gallagher, Mike O'Hare. That's an opportunity if you're in the area you don't want to miss. Final thoughts? It's No Shave November. Seriously, get a checkup. Check your PSA. Check your cholesterol. Check your mental health. Get your teeth cleaned. Take care of yourself. Men's health matters. Make sure that you put your health first this month. For 1 month, put your health first. Work out for a change. I was lonely in the gym this morning. Yeah, yeah. You guys were at 04:30. I was 15 minutes late. Yeah. So seriously, on a serious note, catching stuff early is the key to survival. So please get a checkup. I don't care if you're 21 or 61. Please see your doctor this month. Make an appointment. Get a checkup. If you catch it early, 9 times out of 10, it's no big deal. If you catch it late, it's a whole different ball game. We had a great time. It was a lot of fun. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Steve, Chris. Thank you so much. Thank you, Springs, again. Please, everybody, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time on the road.